Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for a recap of yesterday and our forecast for today and the next couple of days. Thanks as always to our sponsors, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor Show. As always, they are in the description below. Go check them out after this video. So we have a chance for some storms in Illinois today. All the events that happened last night have now pushed off to the east. So hail and gusty winds are possible through the majority of the state of Illinois today, as well as parts of southern Wisconsin. Fall hail season, or fall storm season, round 2 coming in tomorrow, where we could have everything from hail, wind, and tornadoes all possible Tuesday late afternoon through the overnight hours, everywhere from Texas to Nebraska. So we're going to break that down, and we're going to check in on the tropics. Are we going to actually make it to the end of the alphabet here? We have one more storm to get to the end of the alphabet before we go to that next list, so we'll see. Check in on that. We got events coming up here. The OU-TCU tailgate. We now have a time of the game after the crazy Red River shootout, basically. We had OU was victorious, which means this game is going to be at 6:30, so tailgate starts at 4:30. Come check us out here, and it is in Norman, Oklahoma for this home game against TCU. Free food, free beer. You can watch the game with us at the tailgate if you don't have tickets to the game. We'll be there. It's a great time. Come check it out, and you can even enter to win tickets to the Iowa State game that's going to be at the end of November. So definitely don't miss out on that. We also have the Grace and Grind event that's going to be October 18th and 19th, so just a couple days to start next week. It's the only women in roofing retreat, so you can come check it out. It looks like a lot of cool stuff. We are sponsors of that. We're also sending a couple of our lovely employees here at Hill Trace, so you can go check us out there. And we also have the Orca Golf Tournament at the Belmar Golf Club in Norman on October 25th. Just here we are a couple weeks after some golf balls fell in Norman again, and bigger golf balls fell in Norman again. So here on October 25th, if you're there and you're working, you need a day of golf, come check us out at the Orca Golf Tournament. So storm reports yesterday were 2 different areas. First off, here in northern sections of Minnesota, some hail happened there, and the main meat and potatoes of the risk was the multiple tornadoes, big time hail, and gusty winds across Oklahoma and Texas. Had quite a few tornadoes. Myself and Derek were out chasing in this yesterday for KOCO, and we got pretty close to a couple of them here. And of course, we had the big hailstorm across Norman, Oklahoma. It seems to be the hot spot for hail this year, where we had a 4-star map made yesterday. Weren't able to do any live coverage for it because I was still storm chasing. Couldn't get there fast enough. We had 3-inch hail across a good section of Norman. A lot of areas that actually weren't really impacted as much by the first storm got impacted by this one. About 40,000 homes impacted. Not as intense as that one at the end of April. we went and we drove around in the damage path, in the hail path, and found quite a bit of damage, especially in and around the downtown area. So come check this storm out, especially if you're there still working the Norman storm from earlier. I think a lot of folks got hit again, unfortunately, but that is a 4-star map here in October. You can go check out on our website now. So what does that bring the storm reports yesterday? Surprisingly, for the amount of activity we had, not a ton of storm reports. Only 14, well, we had 14 tornadoes, almost all of which were in Oklahoma, 12 large hail reports. That's it. Only 12 reports were reported on this one, but there was quite a bit of big hail with that. 43 high wind reports, some of that in the DFW Metroplex. We're just under 900 tornadoes on the year, just under 5,500 large hail reports, and you know, you guys know we're way behind 2020 with that. So what's happening right now across the country? The storm system that did bring all those tornadoes and hail across Oklahoma and Texas has now rotated pretty much center low pressure just to the southeast of Kansas City. And this is pushing all of this moisture and stormy activity across. Will become severe later on this afternoon with some hail and wind possible. Elsewhere across the country, you can tell that this is a very powerful cold front. Parts of the country here, we are in the 70s and 80s and even near 70 over by New York City across east of the Mississippi River. And if you're back behind this storm system, it is much cooler. It was in the 50s here in Oklahoma City this morning. It's only 74 in Dallas and 55 in Kansas City. So a pretty dynamic system, and things are going to kind of reload for tomorrow for another stormy day. So here's that future radar here across Illinois. We have some activity right now, and you can see by about 2 o'clock we're going to have some isolated storms back behind the main belt of activity. You can have any winds 60 to 65 miles an hour and hail possibly up to that $50 size, and that's going to continue through the afternoon. Chicago itself, I think you might have some difficulty getting some hail in your area just because there's a lot of showers and storms that are going to kind of keep things a little more stable through the afternoon. But this could have some gusty winds here along the Indiana border, and these isolated storms, that's your best bet for that hail. And that continues through the evening hours here at about dinner time. Isolated storms in central Illinois that could have that $quarter to $50 size hail. And then as we move into the late evening hours, the whole system starts rotating out of the area and minimize that hail risk. So overall, max hail forecast size for today, $quarter to $50 size hail. Not crazy for hail, not going to be like yesterday. We had that 3-inch hail in Norman, and it was also super wind driven as well across a lot of areas in Oklahoma. This is looking more subdued compared to yesterday. And that risk, again, here you are for the majority of the state of Illinois and possibly even as far north into sections of Wisconsin and far western parts of Michigan. But that main area of hail potential is going to be across Illinois. Low chances for St. Louis and Chicago, as well as places like Springfield and Peoria, Bloomington, all kind of across the board, a low chance, $quarter to $50 size hail, winding down after about 9 p.m. So going into tomorrow, with things reset quite a bit, and we have a chance for quite a bit of storms going into your Tuesday evening. So we're starting this here at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and we push ahead all the way to about 7 o'clock, and there you go. 7 to 8 is when storms actually form in western sections of Kansas, parts of the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, and then once we get to about 10, 11 o'clock, midnight, you have a lot more intense storms forming. Okay, it turns into a line of storms pretty quick here by 2 o'clock in the morning, but again, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to have severe weather, gusty winds, and some hail here, all possible. Again, in the overnight hours of your Tuesday, so it looks like it might be a bit of a busy night for hail trace here. And even some isolated storms off to the west of Dallas, and we push it forward even more. By about 5 a.m., this line of storms pushes through Oklahoma City and Wichita, and that's possibly could have some pretty strong winds with it, upwards of 65 miles an hour, possibly even some hail as well, and even some storms down in Dallas. So again, it could be a very late night for your Tuesday night here across the southern plains. And then once we get to Wednesday morning, storms will be moving towards Tulsa. So this could be, again, a pretty late event here, and definitely it's October, but Mother Nature is saying it's closer to May. So here we are with further to the north on the future radar, we got to jump again all the way up to about 7:30. Where storms are going to form in western Kansas. This is going to be your best hail chance. These storms have that best opportunity to be more isolated, which can bring that much bigger hail. And then as we push forward to about midnight, it starts turning to a pretty intense line here as it's heading towards the Omaha and Wichita areas. And once we get to about 4 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, this is a pretty intense squall line moving towards Omaha. It could be another overnight strong wind event like we've had a couple times this year in the Omaha area. Winds 60, 65, maybe even 70 miles an hour with it. Pushes through at about 4 in the morning, and this will rip across the area and be at 7 a.m. hitting Kansas City and actually already past Des Moines on your Wednesday. So what are we looking at for that hail forecast at the very least? I don't have a wind forecast this one put together. We're a little crunched for time this morning, but we could have some up to tennis ball size hail on your Tuesday, and this is going to be, again, after dark, probably after about 8 or 9 o'clock. This is when these storms are going to be happening here. I have low chances for DFW, Oklahoma City, and I forgot to put a pause. So we had a moderate chance. Again, Dodge City, I think the biggest hail potential is likely going to be in a more rural area, and much lower hail chances across the main population centers on the I-35 corridor and up towards Omaha on Tuesday, very, very late in the overnight hours, pretty much on Wednesday morning. The wind threat will probably be much higher with that. We'll have more updates with that for you tomorrow at 12 p.m. When we have a little more time to actually get everything together. We're doing a lot of housekeeping stuff this morning with the aftermath of a big storm last night. So 5-day tropical outlook. Yes, we still have the tropics going on. We have 2 areas we're looking at here. It's pretty typical for this time of year near the Caribbean Sea for October. Could have something form next 5 days over by the Bahamas and then possibly on the Lesser Antilles. 20% chance across the board for either next 2 days or the next 5 days for both of these risks. So we could see Wanda out of this, and if we don't, well, there may not really be anything else in the Atlantic anyway for the rest of this season. So thanks for tuning in, guys. A little shorter video this afternoon. Voice is a little hoarse after yesterday. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, all that, all at HailTrace at See First on Facebook, so you don't miss any of our content. I know we had a live video that Derek did yesterday in lieu of lack of forecast since I was out chasing. You can always call us 855-334-4245, and a lot of you folks are calling this morning needing to get everything in order for the storm that happened last night. If you're first time here, you can give us a call. We'll happily give you more details, help you out, set you up for a training, whatever it is. We're happy to help you. And you can always email us info@hailtrace.com if you're not a big fan talking on the phone, or visit our website, hailtrace.com. You can message us directly on our website and find out more details there as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow, 12 p.m. like we do every single weekday. Have a good one.